All right, let's start here. Delaney, frontline pressure aggressive. Do I recommend it? Well, if you know how this formation works. And before you decide to sign this formation, you gotta think, does it suit your team? Do you have the players that can, high caliber players for this? Do you know how it works? Are you comfortable to play with it? If you're one of those guys like I do most of the time, just want to have fun and use whatever I like, fair enough. But if you want to stay consistent, there's a lot of formations you should need to avoid. But in terms of fun, yeah, it could be very effective. The only thing is about three at the back. It makes a massive difference if your LMF and RMF are fullbacks, or if they are like players like Salah or Mane, even if you use wingback. And as I said, got 3 videos on YouTube. One explains tactic, one explains formation, one explains advanced instructions. So again, Kingsley, I am teaching them. His second instruction is pretty much the same. Most of the time on myClub, especially 5-star, I say 5-star not to diss other levels. I say 5-star because I play 5-star a lot. Most of the time, really, you get countered with 2 passes. I mean, how many of recent games that I played where I have twice of the position and passing, and I'm like drawing a game or losing a game first half while the opponent has 20 passes? Because you play position, you take your time. If you don't make it count, 1 pass to the midfield, 1 through ball, boom, you're getting countered. So you got to take everything in count. However, overcommitting doesn't get punished in this game. Sometimes I see people, you will see tonight, people will use this manager and having Salah, Mane, Neymar as LMF and RMF. It does work. But in the long run, can you pull that off? If you can, then GG. For me, I play every game live. I change a lot. I can never stick to a plan. But if I stick to this manager every game, every day, right, then I'll probably master it better. Ioga, again, can you handle being defensive style AOD and conservative? Like, think about it. When you defend, are you okay defending deep? Because let me tell you, if you go to check top 50, majority of the managers, like, I've decided actually to never use AOD conservative. Number one, best defense is offense. In my opinion, playing 2,000 games on myClub, really, myClub is about aggression and outscoring most of the time. It's my experience. You can have a different opinion. That's fine by me, of course. So, and the other thing is, like, time wasting is kind of becoming a trend. And it just depends what kind of people is time wasting against you. There are good ones and there are some who crumble. So with this fluid, it looks good, man. You know, the first one is just a decoy. The second one, you can have 3 CF. This is a manager that I probably will sign because you guys see me, I do play 3-2-4, 3-2-4-1 a lot because it does dominate the diamond. Again, but squad builder always matters, dude. Makes a massive difference if your LMF and RMF can track back and if they're not. So that's Ioga. I'm just reviewing them, you know, not exactly saying what's more effective, what's not. And at the end, in about 10 minutes, I'll tell you exactly who I prefer. Yo, bot, thank you for the raid, man. You defend with 9 players is kind of easy. Yeah, but how many times we had like 5 at the back, double DMF? You know, when you're leading 2-0, you concede one, shit goes sideways. Players make mistakes, you know what I mean? Yo, bot, I got your raid at the first time, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, that's another thing with Ioga, dudes. Like, Ioga's second tactic is go fucking 5 CB. 5 CB. The only reason that I would probably sign Ioga because I already have Kelnily, right? So this could be a lockdown option. I will sign him just to try that one out. So, but again, dudes, I don't think you can have fullbacks. The DMFs become CBs, so you need DMFs who can play center backs. Now, is it worth it for you to mess up your entire squad just for the, you know, just to compensate for your game management? You know, how many times you change while you're leading 2-0, you switch to the defensive instructions and you end up being under a lot of pressure. So that's just something you would know. This one, we already spoke about it. I think this is like kind of a ridiculous fluid, and it's going to require tons of versatile players and shitloads of stamina. And that's why I said earlier, fluid is not being used that much. None of the managers has fluid anymore. Why? Konami removed it. We used to get normal managers who has fluid because people didn't sign them, didn't use them. So Konami removed it. But it's not dead, but wasn't being used, so they removed it. Now the only time fluid is back on myClub because it's Master League Classic managers. So imagine you're playing 3-2-4-1, just a decoy. When you have the ball, you turn into this. When you lose the ball, this is automatic, by the way. You don't like switch every time. Fluid formation is automatic. You don't need to do anything as long as you change your players accordingly in the game plan. Select, press, hold, switch, make sure they're all in a good form. So this is interesting. I mean, knowing me that I like to change things in weird formations and tactics to play out of my comfort zone, but this is a little bit too crazy. But then I like crazy. I mean, if I decide to do this, first of all, you've got double AMF and wingers, and you've 5 at the back. So I have choices. I need to use fullbacks who can play wingers, right? And I need to have, I need to have 2 fullbacks who can play wingers, and a defensive midfielder who can play a center back in a way. Pretty much. Or I can have AMFs who can play wingers. So it just depends. You need a CB that play left wing forward. Not necessarily. Which one you're talking about? Can you 1v1 my team? Not right now, Golferno. I mean, you see what we're doing here, my friend. Do you have a video how to play against high pressing people? Everybody struggle against that, dude. But yeah, I do have a video. We'll get into that later. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Huilins? This could be edge of your seat kind of setup. But you have one center back. And your compactness is pretty low. And remember, a lot of people like who really play for rating, they always have one formation. They play with it every game, every day. They know exactly where their players are. And that's how you stay more consistent. Plus, people use anchor and counter target. So you think when your compactness is 3 and you have one center back, now again, dude, yeah, you can change these fullbacks into CBs, but the compact is way, way too low. Unless you're going anchor and 2 box to box, or you going, wait for it, triple DMF, you know, that could work. Yo, Grandy, how's it going, bro? That could work. High Luns. Gotcha. Any manager with 3 CF? Nope, apart from Ioga. That's one thing I think I'm gonna... I did sign Kelney because I do like this formation. I think this is a reasonable, very balanced fluid. Because when you're in position, you can have AMF. When you lose position, all you need, your LMF and RMF should be able to play fullbacks. And a lot of fullbacks can play LMF and RMF very, very well. I have them. So I did sign this one. I think the only tactical difference is that long ball changes to short ball. Short pass. I mean, long ball doesn't mean spam long balls, really. Just get the ball out of your half quickly. These formations look crazy. They are crazy. But this is like heaven for me. Mako is the one that out of all doesn't interest me, really. But as I said, like, I don't think I ever want to sign AOD conservative managers or AOD aggressive. I'd rather go for frontline pressure conservative. And I think you should always be aggressive because you're going to be in disadvantage of AI support aggression. But I've noticed when you're conservative, your defenders have a better shape. Just recently, dude, I'm cool. People play 4CB, triple DMF, you know, long ball. That's fine. It's part of the game. People do what they like. Most of the time I do mention it is because I'm a streamer. I talk about what I experience. But what I don't like when people go fucking completely blue. Do you know what? You can start playing full blue. Of course it's annoying. But going full blue and time waste as soon as they score? Nah. That kind of teach me never ever to use AOD conservative. This formation really interests me because you can really mess up the opponent's defensive shape. Because you have an option to go 2 AMF, obviously, even 2 CMF. You have a striker and you have a winger. Ideally, that winger could be a counter target, but you can't make it too obvious in a way. I remember when I used this one, I had a counter target on the AMF because opponents will instantly realize, oh, winger, that's going to be his, counter target. But if you're good at something, you can spam it for 90 minutes. Even if it's predictable, it's going to be unstoppable. What puts me off this manager, it's AOD conservative. I don't like to defend deep. I've got good players. But even AOD conservative, I would have said, you know what? Fine, I'll go for it because it's counter center. That's good. But what I don't like is the compactness. So being AOD, being conservative, low compact is kind of... Are these managers today only for a week? They are in only for a week, yeah. That's what we're doing, Doc. That's what we're doing, bro. I'm reviewing these managers and then upload on YouTube. So for the rest of the week, we can play rather than during gameplay, me talking about managers and tactics, I lose focus. I was gonna get him, Burchett. I really like 4-2-3-1. I usually use him as my second tactic for game management, or most of the time I start with it. Now, the defensive instructions, in my opinion, and most of you guys know, it's perfect. If containment area was center, that would have been too good. Because your counter, your wide, your low support range, your maintain, your player stays where you want them to be. Obviously, center attack would have been better. But majority of the time on my club, you do get matched against people, either Santos or Fisher or Club 3CF or Kunine 3CF. Basically, it's just down the middle. Counter, anchor, you know, touch, shield, through ball, touch, shield, wait for a runner, through ball. That's what the majority plays, and these patterns are effective. But don't use something because of what people use. But in the meantime, you gotta take that into account. The one thing put me off him, I don't necessarily want to be AOD conservative, because I usually use it as a second tactic. I prefer to be aggressive, because if I'm leading, opponent's gonna press me, right? I don't want to press him in his half. I want to be AOD conservative. I don't need frontline pressure. Why would I press him when I'm leading? But I want to be aggressive because he's gonna be pressing me, and I want to aggressively intercept, absorb pressure, and counter. But this is one of those, I might probably get him at the end. I don't know, because I bought a lot of coins for these managers. Harty is similar to the default manager, Fisher. I prefer his second tactic. You got wide, high compactness. Because wide containment could be an issue. With Santos is different, man. Santos is go high pressing, high defensive line, and higher compactness, I think by 1. And let's be honest here, aggression even in real life, you know? I mean, in real life football, now that offside trap rules has changed, most teams don't really play high defensive line. Because the whole point of pressing, it's basically for you to make mistakes. And you do make mistakes under pressure. Sometimes you go red mentality, not that more numbers commit, your players actually cut passing lanes even better. This one I did sign, this fluid actually does make a lot of sense. You kick off like this, that's what your opponent can see. Like for example, I can have my left wing forward Messi, but here I can make my left wing forward Ronaldo. At the start, Ronaldo in the middle, Messi on the flank. When I'm on position, I can switch them. But obviously in the game plan, you can do that. Now, what's interesting about this one, it's a very simple fluid that's not going to drain your stamina that much. Like the first one is just a decoy, really. At kickoff, that's what your opponents see. When you have the ball, have possession, this is where you shape up as. As soon as you lose the ball, you're back to 4-3-3 flat. But what's interesting about this, if you guys notice the flank SS, it's like almost 70% under the box, meaning he can be CF. So you have 2 CF and a wide option. One of the reasons I signed him. Not a fan of wide containment, but at least the compactness is a bit high. And recently, I think this week I struggled too much, lost about 100 plus points. I mean, I got internet disconnection 4 times. I rushed games, you know, I made mistakes I shouldn't. I drew games I shouldn't. Not saying it's all part of the bullshit in the game, no way, man. But I was constantly getting spammed with a simple long ball. I think about it, dude. I'm not saying I got the champion badge and all that, but if I'm unable to stop predictable long balls, I wouldn't be able to get at 700 rated in a way. But most of the time, I was getting caught with these through balls. Opponent makes a through ball. I'm timing it. I'm aware of it. I am anticipating, and then defense just suddenly gets out of position. My cursor comes off my player. Boom, through ball goes in. Drives me fucking insane. Drives me insane. Would you change that SS into CF? I probably will, yeah. Yes, you can do that. You have a variation of things. There's a lot of things I can say about each manager non-core, but I'm just trying to cut it short. I mean, some people like who play this game a lot, I was surprised that they were saying, "Oh, look at this manager. You can make the CMFs DMF." Yes, of course. If the CMFs are on the center line and not above, they can be DMFs. If they are above the center line, they can be MF. So you can easily have on this one, no, you can only have one DMF. But with this one, yeah, you can go triple DMF. But then again, how many attacking midfielders you know who can play a DMF? You know, most of the time. What's up, Alex? Abel, how's it going, bro? He's kind of quite similar to Aramburu, if you ask me. I mean, I don't remember Aramburu, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly similar as Aramburu. Maybe Aramburu has 1 bar support range. Am I right? Are you kicking an empty can of Red Bull? No. Why? You guys hearing something? I think it's my controller wire. Sorry. Aramburu's not a counter, my friend. I know that part. Does high compactness counter wide containment area? Not necessarily, really, because you don't attack with your compactness, Sergio. Like, your compactness is your defensive AI. When you lose possession and the team is attacking you, that's where compactness matters. Sure, if you're more compact when you gain possession, you know, you won't have that much width to attack. You will have, obviously, if you're, let's say, if your compactness is low and your containment is wide and you lose possession instantly, you will have your players more wide. But all that matters is the outfit players. In that case, would rather just use a... we got 2 more managers left. Just hug the touchline. I keep hearing the sound of empty can ruling. You know when it blows the wind. I definitely don't have empty cans running about. Let me know if you still. Let me know if you can still hear it, Tiger. Let me know, man. This is the perfect formation for counterattack, by the way. The perfect formation. I mean, the attacking style is not really counter. But again, dude, AOD conservative. Wide containment, I would say, okay, you go 5 at the back. People tend to go wide most of the time. But smart people will do quick 1-2s, play position, L1 triangle. Can break these fucking 5 at the back. But compactness is way too low. Defensive line is way too deep. So if you're not comfortable, a lot of people just see the formation and go for it. The tactics matters because, yeah, sure, I mean, the formation is the main thing. But think about it. You don't have control over all your players when they're not under your control. So as soon as you control one player, the rest of your team will react and attack and defense based on the tactics. So tactics do matters. Otherwise, Sadi as a diamond or many other managers was a diamond will be the same thing as Simeone. I did use Tabarez. We go 9 win streak 4 times. Zamenhof was a goalkeeper on Master League. Makes sense. He's super defensive. I would have signed him if his defensive option was at least AOD. And this isn't necessarily parking the bus because you are still aggressive. You are still frontline pressure. The only thing is changes from... Makes sense if you're leading, you want to play position a little bit, not to rush because you're not losing. Usually this formation is used in real life when you're playing games that you're not bothered about scoring and you don't want to concede in a way. So when you lead, you have this formation, yeah, it's pretty much for you. But if you're losing and the opponent's time wasting, you feel like you need to press him, you don't necessarily need an assistant coach. I mean, you can go red mentality, you can use gegenpress, you can push your defensive line, you can use 1-2, trigger run, and all that. You can be more offensive by how you play. But still, to press your opponent with AI or teammate pressing, I think you need to have a more offensive formation if you're going to use something like that. If this was like DMF, AMF, in my opinion, you need the AMF behind the striker. But that would have been too good. That would have been too good. Like if this was DMF, AMF, LMF, RMF, that would have been perfect. In fact, if this had the AMF, I would have made my peace with the rest of the managers. You like frontline pressure with 5 at the back. It doesn't matter what I like. I'm reviewing this. I do like frontline pressure with 5 at the back because I don't use 5 at the back for the purpose of parking the bus. But it's good as your defensive option if it was AOD in a way. I thought I heard like a fan from the stream, then I realized it was my laptop. Well, I'm glad because I was going to get fucking crazy there checking out. For long pass build up, a friend told me that your players move better if you pass it medium or long ball. It's not about them moving better, my friend. I think build up long ball, it means as soon as you have possession of the ball, your team basically barges forward instantly. Meaning you can instantly launch a long ball from your own half to your striker. So in terms of build up, I mean, look how long pass works. You have the ball deep, right? You launch it. As I always say, long ball, it doesn't mean you need to spam long balls. It just means get the ball out of your own half as quick as possible. Do your build up outside your own half. And in my opinion, the best formation for long ball is 4-2-1-3. Obviously 3CF will be better, but